Okay, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Nedarim, daf Chav Beis, number 22. The beginning of daf Chav Beis, the first half of daf Chav Beis on Aleph, talks about a similar theme. Some Rabbanim use the Pesach, um, where they would say to the person who took the neder, "Did you know that if you took a neder, you're a Rasha, or if you took a neder, you're like someone who built a bama, you're building a mizbeach outside the base of Mikdash, and if you're Makayim and you keep the neder, you're makar of a korban, or if you took the neder, did you know that Hashem is gonna investigate your actions and gonna find you guilty, or did you know that people who take Nedarim are fitting to be pierced by swords, right? So a lot of the Rabbanim uses a Pesach. The Gemara's maskana is that you can't use these things as a Pesach. Why not? Why can't you use things as a Pesach, right? First takes a neder. I didn't know that it says in Mishlei, right, that I'm fitting to be pierced by swords if I take Nedarim. So the answer I have is as follows: that the idea of Maseches Nedarim, if I had to describe it in one sentence, that it's just basically Nedarim are basically chumras. That's what they are. It's being machmir, adding chumras upon yourself. That's what the whole idea of the Dharm is. It says in the Torah, you shouldn't be mosif bal tosif. You shouldn't add on to the Torah. We know what happened with Chava. The Nachash told her you can't even touch, right, Eitz Adas. We know what happened with that. That's original sin came from bal tosif, which is exactly what a nether is. A person takes chumras upon himself. Yes, there are times when it's allowed, but the Torah only allows that for nidrei zruzim, where you're doing a mitzvah, to be machmir, to do extra mitzvahs, to eat matzah all of Pesach, not just the first night, that's okay, as long as you're working to get to a level where you're not going to need those nadarim in the future. But in order to motivate yourself in the beginning of your journey of becoming a better person, you're allowed to do that. But to answer stuff on yourself, the Torah 613, 360 laws, the 65 lavim, that's enough. You don't have to add more stuff. That's the whole idea of the Nadarim. So here also, when you're doing a Pesach and you're saying, did you know that if you take Nadarim upon yourself, it's a really evil thing? Yeah, the person knew that. I mean, internally or subconsciously, people know that, right? We know what's bad. We know what's bad. The Torah doesn't have to tell us what's wrong. We have a conscience. We're born with a conscience. Um, Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, that you have your conscience. Most people would rather ignore the fact that you have a conscience. Sounds similar to the word consciousness, because only people who pay attention to their conscience are really conscious. If you're not paying attention to your conscience, you're not conscious. You're not really living. But people who pay attention to it feel there's something wrong with taking a dharm. Inherently, I know when I was becoming firmer and taking ahisur on myself, I knew it was a wrong thing to do. I knew deep down it was the wrong thing to do, to make it extra yisur by yourself. Not necessarily just the idea of answering other things, but the reason it's such a bad thing. Eh,
גדול הדור, גדוי הדור.
there you go. Thank you. He's not lying. He's also because he's the grandson of Rav Yashov, so he knows, right? אתה נכד של רב יושב, כן?
לא.
לא? Oh, okay. I thought he was a נכד רב יושב.
אנחנו בנים של הקדוש ברוך הוא.
הבנים של הקדוש ברוך הוא. Alright. גדול הדור. It's pretty hard to live up to, but anyway, so the point is that people know that it's the wrong thing. It's taking a dharma upon yourself. And the whole point of a Pesach is basically you're acknowledging that when I took the neder, I had some lack of knowledge. I didn't know this thing. And now you're pointing out to the person, yeah, when you took the neder, you're supposed to know that it's a very bad thing, and Hashem is angry that you're taking that, but you knew that already. So a Pesach has to be that we're showing you that you had a lack of knowledge of taking the neder. People know it's a bad thing to take in Durham. It's not a good thing to take in Durham. And for that reason, practically, we're not poseach in these types of psachim because and you're not revealing anything new, and therefore to say that the person lacked knowledge, he didn't lack knowledge. His consciousness knew this was a bad thing to do, and therefore halacha l'maisa, we're not poseach with these psachim. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.